especially for the Art Plus magazine. Hello, Art Plus magazine followers. I don't know if you can hear the music or anything. If it's disturbing, make a comment if I'm loud and clear. If I'm clear, that's cool. Anyway, my name is JJ Duque. I am the organizer of South Arts Festival that happens every year at Philinvest City. And I am also a restaurant owner. I'm here at my restaurant now. It's called NYSM Pizzeria, which has a nice little speakeasy in the back where I am right now. To Prohibition and to the liquor ban. So what else? Yes, I'm also an artist. I draw. I do abstract drawings with colored pens and pencils. And then, I organize art festivals, organize art events. I do a restaurant. So technically, my passions are culinary and visual arts. And prior to this whole lockdown with the COVID thing, it's been kind of interesting because there's a lot that was supposed to be going on. Of course, South Arts Festival was supposed to happen over the summer. My restaurant was supposed to have a lot of events here in the bar. As an artist, I had like commissions lined up for work, and I was supposed to have my own show coming soon, second solo show. So of course, all of that stopped because of COVID. Bummer. Right now, I still organize the show at Crimson. We had it right before COVID, right the week right before the whole thing. So the exhibit is actually still up. It's been up there since March because we can't take it down, and the hotel's closed anyway, but it's there. So yeah, it's a women's exhibit for the Women's Month of March, and then we had about a dozen women artists, so their work is still up there. Anyway, so that's there. We were supposed to move in towards South Arts Festival, but then that got canceled. I was actually very thinking that even with the COVID, I could make it happen and just maintain the whole social distancing, something, whatever, to keep in line with the quarantine guidelines. But then, of course, that's not going to happen. The restaurant was supposed to have a lot of events. Of course, that didn't happen. We had to close down. That Sunday, I think it was March 15. That Sunday was the first Sunday in the entire history of this restaurant that there was no people during lunch because they had canceled the masses, and usually after mass, the church nearby, they come here. So the first Sunday ever in the history of this restaurant used to be Aveneto 17 years ago. 12 years ago, it became NYSM Pizzeria. They changed the name, and then about 2 years ago, I took it over. But anyway, for the first time in the history of this restaurant, in 17 years, there was nobody here on a Sunday, and that was a sign. So that we closed that down. But the weeks that followed, it's okay. I got busy with the restaurant because to avoid damage control, I had to get rid of our stocks instead of having go to waste. So we fed some frontliners, some pizza, some pasta, and then we had to empty our freezer so we could save on the electricity. So we tried to get rid of all our stocks and tried to sell as much as we could to our friends. And then we still had so much. I mean, if I could only put a kilo of pepperoni on top of every pizza, but you can't. You only can put like so many grams, right? So we still had so many left over. We stole that out until we emptied our freezer, and then we kind of shut down. We were one of the first to try to cook during the middle of it. The first to try to officially shut down. And then we did a good job with that. And then to keep ourselves afloat, eventually we had to pay off, of course, a restaurant. You still have bills to pay. We still had salaries to pay at that time. And then we were able to cover everything. But personally, it was kind of everything just shut down. It was crazy. So how do we get about this now? We were able to get some money back selling some pizzas early on in the day when people, when at the very beginning. But then April kicked in, and then you thought it was going to go away. Then now it's May, and of course it's not going to go away. And then you just have to kind of adjust the things. And then people were asking me, how do you evolve in such a thing like this? I thought personally that I would get more busy with my art. I have more time to stay home, do more art, make more circles, make more stuff. But then, for some reason, that didn't happen. It's I had a feeling of this, like, with the art scene, with this thing happening over the years. With my take on the art scene was like, this is not gonna recover. Like, artists, like, who's gonna want to buy art at this time? You know, who's gonna want to buy? Who's gonna want to spend that luxury item on an artwork? So even the people who commissioned with me, like, I can't even ask them to say like, hey, remember that artwork you commissioned for? You know, it's like inappropriate for me as a human being to do that at such a time, at such a crisis, to think of like asking that. So for me, I couldn't even do art. I got like, it was just there. It was just there on the, and then I've been doing this artwork, a commissioned work for a place in for this spot in Tagaytay, Pinto Museum, and then I started that December. It was supposed to be due February, and then I never got around to it because I was busy with the restaurant, and I kept doing it. You know, my artwork takes a while. If you see the thing in the picture, the circles, it takes a while. It takes about a really long time for me to do it. So that stopped, and I thought I'd have by March I'd like have the time to do it now, and then I couldn't do it. Then something with a leak in the ceiling destroyed my colored pens and paper, watercolor paper and stuff like that. So that kind of depressed me, but then that's okay. Move on, keep drawing. But the thing is, like, even that art, I wasn't so sure about it. And usually I'm inspired by art and I'm inspired by artists. I'm always surrounded by them. I make an art festival to allow artists who haven't had an opportunity to exhibit to be able to exhibit. So, like, for me, like, you know, art as an inspiration, like, if I lost that, kind of lost it for everything. But it is just only for my art. For exhibiting for other people, that I will never, ever lose that. Because I never was an artist to begin with. I was a writer before I became an artist. My supposed title right now is like I'm supposed to be a restaurateur. But, you know, whatever hat I put on, it's like, there's always that creative experience. And then the part of the creative experience is also evolving from these things. Like, at the beginning, I didn't even know I was going to become an artist or an exhibitor of art, and then like, or an art organizer for a festival, until it became one of my passions. And then you kind of move on from that. Now it's kind of on a standstill. And to be honest, with the art scene, you know, I'd like to hear what other people have to say about it. But then, my personal opinion, it's going to kind of be one of those things that's going to be hard to recover. But don't get me wrong. Art at this time is going to be so brilliant. It's going to be so nice because people have had this time to focus, be there, do something, and art is going to be nice. Me, I've been pouring it out into cooking. But art, even visual art, it's going to be so nice. It's people are going to have so much things to like put out, to express. It's going to be beautiful, but then who's going to be able to afford it? But then this has happened historically, like French Revolution, something like that. No one's going to buy art at a time of war, but then later on, well, I don't know if it's going to be worth it till we're dead or whatever it is, but then we're at a different time right now and we can't ever control it. So right now, even the uncertainty of where this art is going, of where they're pouring out their expression, eventually it's going to lead somewhere. And I think that's going to be one really good thing that's going to happen to the art scene, despite it not going to be able to pick up immediately. Okay. That's given already. Like, for example, me as an art festival organizer, I don't know when I'm going to have the next version of South Arts Festival. It's going to be uncertain. And of course, you have to practice the social distancing. What if there's still no vaccine? Of course, we can't gather in groups like that. So this whole uncertainty of everything, like, if there's anything that a creative person, like, I'm not going to say like I'm completely creative, but then if you're like, you have to just kind of adapt and go with it, right? So if these are the non-givens or the givens and these are what it is, where do you find your line in between? What's amazing with this whole pandemic experience is not that we were all locked down and kept separate, but then some of us who knew better were able to become resourceful enough to build a network around things. We have our village here in BF is kind of protected. We're like kind of blocked out from the rest of the world, and it's hard for people to come in. If I have to order a Grab, I have to go outside to the village to meet them out there because they won't allow them in. Anyway, so the network of connections that you have within the community kind of becomes better. At least this is in a small scale, at least around the neighborhood, right? So like now everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna get vegetables, pasabay, I'm gonna get like this, paano rin? And then the whole thing works, you know, like, and then people who know that that their friends may be needing something, they go help them out. They'll buy something from you, and everything. Like me, when I had my pool pizza, I wanna close down my freezer thing, people were helping out. Nice, okay. So that sort of community thing, now it's working in this like in a local way, in a neighborhood way. You put that later on, let's say like on an industry, and people are helping it out each other in the industry. I'm sure it's gonna happen for the art scene. It's certainly happening for the food scene. In the food scene, like okay, restaurants are closed, everything that we're all having a hard time getting this, but everybody now is sharing suppliers. Before we could find our own suppliers, our own specific suppliers from outside of town, but then now we can't get outside of town. So we have to now rely on inside the community, which is kind of nice, which is happening in the food thing. Like we have a little page of like stuff that you can buy. A lot of home cooks cook a bunch of stuff. Some of the restaurants that are open and are accepting food deliveries and pickups, they're posting their stuff. So in terms of the food industry, I think that's always going to survive because one, food is an essential that's going to survive here. So you just have to kind of be creative in a way. I think there's going to be more than pickups. So obviously, we're not going to have anybody dining in. That's going to be one of my problems. Like I have yet to talk to my landlord about what's going to happen to our rent situation because obviously I'm renting for a big space that includes a big dining, but no one's going to be able to dine in or until we know what kind of stuff they're going to say about that. But anyway, in the meantime, those are the things that have personally happened to me, and what I think about it in the terms of like what may happen in the long term, in the short term. That's awesome. Has it been a hard experience for me, this COVID thing? It's been up and down. I mean, it's hard to maintain relationships if you're like separate from one another. I'm happy that I'm with my kids. I have a hard time with the restaurant because my staff are all outside of BF and they have a hard time coming in, so that becomes a difficulty. But yeah, to be able to resume business, it becomes difficulty. But then, like, as anything, I'm always positive about whatever happens. I'm always a positive person, so whatever this thing is going on, I always try to remain positive about it. I've maintained more friendships because of this. Like, like these are the kind of things that test you, and then and then these are the kind of things that make you look at the world around. So it's been nice, and I think that's going to be an inspiration moving forward in terms of like the way that I'm going to have business, in terms of like the restaurant, and in terms of the way that I'm going to move forward in terms of art and art events. Opportunities have been coming my way actually because of the cooking thing. Okay, so a lot of people have been ordering food from me for whatever, for little special occasions, at least within their family. Um, Today, I was supposed to get a evaluation cook thing from these call center guys, but then they ordered their food. Their food was ready at 2 o'clock, and they didn't. It's 4 o'clock, and they didn't come for their food. So they're not getting their food, and I might give it na lang later to some deserving frontliners or whatever, sayang naman the food. But yeah, food hasn't been a problem. I could have had that opportunity, depends. That still might happen. They're looking for a concessionaire to be able to feed them, so it works, For the food thing, it works. For the art thing, it's like, wow, I don't know. That's going to be a really difficult thing to do. Like, we can't exhibit and get together or something, but don't get me wrong, like what I said earlier, the art that's going to be coming from these artists are going to be brilliant because of this whatever everybody is going through. It's going to be brilliant, but that's why, are we going to be able to have the events or the luxury to have these things? Like, am I going to be still able to ask those commissions if they're going to be there? Because it seems inappropriate, diba? So those are just like the kind of questions that you have to deal with. But then for me, what's been happening here is kind of memorable. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so what else? I'm looking at their guide questions, what they were asking me kanina. Where was it? Oh, there. Yeah. I kind of covered most of it. Sorry. No. Yeah, it's actually they're asking about the long term and the whole short term of this thing, like immediate impact. I think the immediate impact, everybody's feeling it, that it's going to be really tight. The long term impact after the pandemic, and especially here in arts, like this is the one thing that, if you can see that long enough, because it all depends naman if they can find a solution to the disease, right? To the virus. And without that, it's always going to be under this kind of threat level that we're going to be. So, wait lang, I'm asking questions. Will you still do art for Pinto Gallery? Hi. Yeah, I'm still doing that. Cheers, Norley. Yeah, I'm still going to be doing that. I'm still finishing that. I'm still gonna finish that if I get done cooking. But yeah, I'm finishing that artwork. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's kind of hard, but then yeah, I'll have to finish all the artworks that I promised, and then bahala na si Batman if they're still but I won't pressure them to it. But I think yeah, of course I'll finish the art. I mean, I'm never one to like shy away naman from the commitments that I made, which is like also like just the way you have to push forward. Sometimes you just have to be really committed to something and just do it. There's no like that famous painter. There's no failures or there's no mistakes. There's just happy whatever, right? Loss. So I think that's the way that we just approach these things. You just have to learn and go on. Prior to this, I have a lot of opportunities naman for restaurant expansion, a lot of consulting with food. That's good. So I think as long as that skill is there, that's always going to happen. With art, it's a kind of more difficult thing. Art has to be interactive, community-based, shared, exhibits, things, events. It's hard to kind of do that. So yeah, it's going to be hard to do that. But then, don't get me wrong, like what I said, the art that's going to come after this, the art that's going to come after everybody's isolated, and the art that's going to come out is going to be really, really nice. It's going to be really, really nice. Exactly, Norley. Tuloy lang, bro, di ba? Paint lang, bahala na si COVID, di ba? Bahala na sila. Tama yan. And then that's what I really think. Just keep doing it because later on it's going to come out there. And like in anything, nobody can ever stop that from anything. Like everybody's learned something new today. Like everything because of this, if you don't learn, you're not gonna move forward. So if anything that this thing has taught you, it's taught you to be a little bit more careful about your health. It's taught you something. So now you're learning. Okay, now you learned about you have to be healthy physically, you have to be like this, and then now mentally, how do you prepare yourself? Because this one really effed everybody up. You know what I mean? So that's going to be one thing that they're going to have to be art, diba? So difficult stuff. But then you just have to go out there and just do your art. That's it. I think that nobody should ever be stopped from doing that. So many people learned so many things over this thing. Like people learned how to cook. People who didn't take up art took up art. People who didn't take up cooking took up cooking. People who didn't do exercise did exercise. People did a lot of things. So it's nice. People are learning. People are evolving. And I think everybody needs to go through that in a positive way. Because all you're trying to do naman in the end of life is to make your life better. So why not just do it in a positive way? Everything. So if you try to look always at the negative of the side of things, it's just gonna kind of be painful. And then like in this time already, with already so much negative, so much uncertainty, the thing that you have to be able to do is just trust yourself to go at it. So like if you want to make art, go art. If you want to learn something new, learn something that you haven't been before, go. Act in TikTok. And then like me, what I did was I became really good at Call of Duty Mobile, first person shooter game. I have my controller set up with my phone, and then I play multiplayer and battle royale because my friend asked me to do it. And then since the start of COVID, when I just started it then to now, I'm like legendary status at battle royale. I can win 1 against 4. Like there's a team that has 4 and I'm just solo by myself. I can beat them. So I'm good at that. I became good at that, and I started playing that with my kids, which was fun. So that was good. I kept the same. My kids have stopped playing it. I'm still playing it, and I became like really, really good at it. So that's one of the positive things that came out of my COVID experience. I'm like level 150. Who goes through 150 levels in 2 months? So I do. I spend that time, and it's good for me. I get to interact with my friends. We get to play, from anywhere in the world, from whatever, so like that. So we get to play. That's fun. So COD mobile. You should download the game and we should play. That rocks. The other thing that I get to do once in a while is Scrabble, but then I don't play Scrabble as much because, it's just too much thinking. I'd rather shoot people and just kill them. But yeah. Anyway, so apart from that, that's it. Just if you have to just keep evolving, doing something. Mine is like a minor escape in video games and everything like that. But don't get me wrong, I've been cooking like really hard. I've been actually working very hard. I'm actually out of the house most of the day. I'm not actually quarantined inside. Well, that's because I also can escape here to the restaurant and like still there, so I get to go out. Um, and then I also cook a lot, so which also makes me like I cook for a lot of people. So at the very beginning of this, one of actually my dear friends had COVID, and him and his wife they had to separate themselves from their children and had to move into their sister's house and something like that, and they were the only ones there. Like I don't think they could even have contact because the husband had to be in isolated in one room and like parang feeling ko prison sila na dadalhin yung pagkain iiwan sa pintuan tapos kakatok or something like that. I don't even know yung setup nila. Pero nung beginning, one of my good friends asked me if like, can you please cook naman for them para the wife doesn't have to worry about cooking and just can take care of the husband. So I'm like, sure, no problem. And then like they wanted to pay, so I go, no worries about it. And I like cooked for them for a while. Like I think for the first 2 weeks, and then he became positive. I'm positive, like negative. He tested negative, which means he didn't have it anymore for his first test. And so I'm like, okay, that's good. He's gonna recover already. And then apparently, I didn't even know what he wanted to cook, but for some reason, I said like he might like this and he might like this. Tapos bilang, favorite ko yung kalyos, favorite ko yung spaghetti na bolognese. Ganun, grabe. So, nakakatawa siya. At least tuwang-tuwa siya while he was sick. And then he got better, but apparently, nung tinestry siya ng nag-positive yata siya or something. So, he has to be in quarantine again. But yeah, so them, I just cook for them once in a while. I love them, love them, love them. So and then so yeah, cooking keeps me busy, keeps me sane, and then the art, yeah, I still have that thing of like that I'm supposed to do for the commission work, waiting there, and then I just have to like take the time to finish it. But in the meantime, what's keeping me busy is also, yeah, that network of connection of like selling goods. It's nice because like okay, hey, I have pork, you have vegetables, you have like this, at least in the food industry, and it kind of works, you know. It kind of works that hey, I'll buy from you, buy from me, buy from me. So, in that sense, that's going around, and there are a lot of new sellers and people in the business. That's kind of good. Yeah, art worries me, but then like yeah, the food business is gonna like kahit paano, I'm there. It's good. I think the food business will work. So. And then I'm gearing towards that. Before this, I was supposed to have a project like in Santa Rosa or something. We had like, you know, a few expansion projects going, but then it never kind of happened. So especially with this thing, but then hopefully those when things clear up, those things can be good. What else have I been doing since lockdown? I've been taking master class. I have the whole access to all the classes. So like before I go to sleep at night or when I can't sleep, I just play the master class, and even if it's like I don't watch it, I just like kind of listen to what they're doing, and then there. So yeah, some of the cooking stuff, some of the whatever art writing, art directing, writing stuff, whatever. Just listening. Nice. Netflix. I haven't been watching much Netflix. I was trying to restart Mad Men, and then I kind of like dropped out of it, but I haven't been watching anything else apart from that. I don't do much Netflix. I spend more time with my dogs. I have 3 dogs. I have a 5-year-old bull mastiff named Spencer, named after Spencer Hastings. And then I have a Chow Chow called Nala because we thought she was going to look like a lion, but she didn't. And then a Rottweiler named Anya. And then they stay with me every time when I'm home, like when I sleep, every time. So I spend my time with my dogs and not with Netflix. I feel like if I'm doing Netflix and time with my dogs, I'm cheating on them. So I have to spend time with my dogs. I have an Italian restaurant, NYSM Pizzeria, in New York, state of mind pizzeria. And then I have a speakeasy, soundproof, secret, you know, like nice, cool. Take a look, diba? Nice, trippy, diba? Yeah, okay. Don't mind that there's like stuff there. There. So yeah, it's hidden. And then like, yeah, so we're here. So anyway. So I have a speakeasy in the back of an Italian restaurant at the time of prohibition and liquor ban and everything. Hi Amanda, what I'm working on apart from the booze, I have an artwork that's for commission. That's kind of like the commission. Like, am I still gonna be able to get paid for the commission or something? But apart from that, I've been cooking. All the art events, of course, have been on hold because of this thing. But then yeah, so I've been cooking, booze, and then. Yeah, cooking and booze. Art, not so much. Art is very, like me, I feel as an artist, it's very uncertain. But then I have a feeling that the art that's going to come out because of what all the artists are going through is going to be very nice. It's going to be like, it's going to be different for sure. It's going to be different. I think it's going to bring out a new side on all the different artists. Like before, you're used to being known for this. I think now with art, you're going to have a different side of you that's going to come out and be like, boom, I never knew you had that in you. So I'm still waiting for mine. But yes, I'll finish the commissioned works that I have lined up. It's just going to take a while because I've been busy with... Norley, have a good day. Ayan, tama yan. Mag-exercise ka. Para bumata ka ng konti. Bye, bro. Thank you. Ilipas din to, matira-matibay. Tama nga naman, di ba? But I like that. Of course, it's like going to be at the very beginning. It really felt like that this COVID was going to be survival of the fittest. It was attacking the old people, the unhealthy people. So it felt like a cleansing of some sort. No, it's kind of weird. And then of course, like when you put it in the context of a third world, like where we are, it's like parang like for me, one of the disappointments I have with here is like we don't have the testing kit, so you don't know. Like they say, it's not with the poor; it's only with the rich. But it's because the rich are the ones who can go to the hospitals and get whatever, get the tests and get treated. So it's only coming out of the hospitals. It's not coming out of rural health centers, not coming out of the provinces so much because, it's the lack of and so you don't know if it's just like really rampant and going around. That's one of my disappointments with this. And then, given that, like, how do you reconcile that now with everything moving forward? The poor are going to get poor, and then those of us who are now in the middle because of the economic struggles, all the middle class and everything. So the only ones who are going to get left are like the rich and young. It sounds bad, but anyway, don't stop. Stay positive. Keep learning. That's all the advice that I really have. Have I enjoyed this time in the COVID? Yes, it's memorable. It's definitely so memorable. I don't think anybody who's gone through this will have it's been memorable. And yet I have missing chapters in a lot of them also. So, but most of it's been memorable. I think it's like for me personally, it's taught me a lot about myself that I can still figure out ways to do stuff. Anyway, so I got advice that I'm going to be an auto cutoff in 2 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up. Since you guys didn't have much to say, I'm going to be cool. Bubble Bermudas are going to be next. Hula. Hello. And then I'll see you guys again later. Follow me at JJ Duque Art at NYSM Pizzeria. Take care, guys. Cheers.